Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below. I know I'm going to...
and it's kind of like we're global. Yeah. You hear we're global, global, like globally, like we have the highest incarceration. And I guess it's an oxymoron by saying in a free world, but you know, and we do have a lot of people in behind bars. A lot of people deserve to be there. Okay, but what's your view? You know, like first-time offenders, and I guess it's a matter of evaluation. But to me, I don't see any answer of reducing the incarceration rate if we have drugs running rampant, people committing capital offenses. I mean, they deserve to be in prison. So, I mean, you have any thoughts on our national issue? Because I hear that when we travel. You guys in America have the highest incarceration. Well, that's because we put criminals behind bars.
So that's a loaded question. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, so we've seen a trend over time in the United States and in Florida. So in the 80s, we got the minimum mandatory sentences for many things, minimum mandatory sentences for drug trafficking, things like that. And a lot of people went to prison. And about 5 years ago, a lot of people in the criminal justice system, longer than that, probably 10 years ago, a lot of people in the criminal justice system started looking and saying, okay, these people are now getting out of prison and they're still offending. Our prisons are full. We need to have room for violent offenders. By the way, Mr. Russell was responsible for bringing us our Stop Turning Out Prisoners legislation, the Truth in Sentencing, where he made sure that anyone sent to prison served 85% of their sentence. So what is now the trend is to look and say, wait a minute, and I think this is really what I explained to you in my platform. There's got to be a way of doing things better with non-violent offenders. How about a drug court for somebody who is a drug addict and keeps getting caught in possession of heroin? How about a drug court for them where they don't take up all the space incarcerated and they don't come out still committing crimes to feed a drug habit? I believe really firmly in that, and I think a lot of the community supports me there. I know our legislature is looking at things like that. Mental health court. Hey, how about we try to treat somebody who has a mental health issue by making sure they take their medication? How about a veteran who has PTSD? Why are we going to send them to prison for a non-violent offense when we can try to help them make sure they're getting their benefits from the VA, make sure they're taking any medicine that they've been prescribed? It works. Our favorite phone call we get every year in the office is from a young woman who went through one of our specialty courts successfully. She did a 2-year specialty court. Her life was in shambles when she entered, and every year on her anniversary of graduation from the drug court, she calls our office to thank Mr. Russell for letting her do it, because her life is really good now. She turned herself around, she got clean, she has a good job, she has a family. These things really do work. They take an enormous amount of resources, but they're worth it. So I think the answer, I gave a very long-winded answer to your question as an attorney. But I think that we can do better. I think that we have to use our incarceration for violent criminals, and because they need to go away for a really long time. So we need space, and we need to try to do better with people who aren't violent and who aren't selling drugs. We need to keep them in our community.
Sure, long term, when it comes to incarceration, that's why I'm a Republican. I believe in educational choice, schools, economic opportunity. I was involved with the Big Brothers Little Brothers Association, and I was helping out this 10-year-old. I'm still in touch with him 10 years later, and I was the only male in his life who ever complained about having to get up for work the next day. Nobody in his immediate family worked. There were really no male figures who worked. His grandfather was around, but he was retired. Short term, though, we're going to have to just keep locking up the violent ones. Long term, that's why I'm a Republican. That's why I'm a conservative Republican, most of all. These pathologies you see in some of the communities where it's huge illegitimacy. It seems like certain communities, nobody goes to church anymore. I'd love to see that community be reinvigorated with private charities like the PACE Center or the Big Brothers Association, or educational school choice and charter schools, but none of that has to do with running for state attorney. Short term, we're just going to have to lock up some of the violent ones and the repeat offenders, and that's why I'm running for state attorney. We have a growing violent crime problem in Southwest Florida. You're less likely to get your car stolen, but you're more likely to have something very bad happen to you, and I don't wish that on anyone. So as state attorney, my job really isn't to feel sorry for a guy who's on his 31st felony. No, he needs to go away, and he needs to go away for a long time, and maybe that's tough love, but that's just the way it's got to be. I'm running to get tough on violent crime and repeat offenders.